Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Friday, as I like to call it, FPL Game Week 2 tips and tricks. I'm here in my childhood bedroom. I'm sorry, I'm staying at my parents' house for the next 2 weeks, and there's just a lot of people in this house and not a lot of space that I can just talk freely without annoying somebody. So I'm here. Don't mind the background. Liv, how's it going today?
Yeah, all good. I mean, I'm gonna that's much better. I've got a Brighton shirt behind me, but I got a cute pink Premier League pillow as well.
Oh my
So,
god, that is so cute.
but yeah, I'm all
What?
good. I'm stressing, but I'm just
I tell you, I am stressing as well because, and we'll get into this, but I have been setting up my team to get Lukaku in, and one of the players I was going to buy went up in price by 0.1, so I cannot afford him by 0.1.
oh my God. Do you know what? I haven't even tried. I haven't even looked at getting him in my team yet because I don't I don't mind taking -4s and stuff, but I don't know if I want to take like -8s or whatever yet. Um, because I think I got quite a low score compared to everyone else. Like obviously 77's fine, and on a normal week that'd be a really good score. But obviously considering people got over 100, I don't think I can afford to be taking hits already. So I'm going to do a wild card job. Probably not this weekend. I'm going to stick with Havertz for this weekend, which I don't know if I'm worried. I'm
I think
slightly
we'll start, especially with
yeah
Pulisic having tested positive as well.
yeah.
Well,
And
yeah, I
he
don't
didn't
know.
start against Palace because I know the team played well, but well, it was a comfortable win in the end, but we needed a free kick. Like, for a lot of the first half, we were just passing the ball around. We weren't moving it quick enough. We weren't creating much. The goal changes everything, doesn't it? And then obviously from then we got better. But I'm hoping that because Werner started, Mount started, Pulisic started, that someone out of those are going to be given a rest, and that I do think Havertz will start. I don't really, I don't know. I don't know if I want him, but I'm just at the point where I'm just looking at my team and I just don't know what changes to make.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do.
well, like the thing with Havertz is that I'm not sure. I think he will start, but then that means that I think Mount is probably a nailed-on starter. And then I'm not sure if Lukaku is going to start or come off the bench. So I'm not sure if
Yeah,
you go Mount, Werner,
I
Havertz
don't.
to start, or if you do like a Havertz and Lukaku, because I hope
Yeah,
that Lukaku starts. I really want to see him start and
I think he was
terrorize
Tuchel.
Arsenal's defense.
Tuchel was being very coy on it earlier. Like he got asked if Lukaku, if we were going to see him, and I know he said he was going to feature, but he sort of just didn't specify where he'd start. I think he's going to be on the bench. I would love him to start, but bringing him on for half an hour is also good. I think he's got he can really hurt Arsenal, but yeah, I do really 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 want to get him in my team. But I'm also not I don't have to get him in now because we've got Arsenal. We don't know if he's going to start. We've got Liverpool the week after that. Then it's the international break. That's when I'm going to wildcard and get him in anyway. So hopefully I can ride the wave these next 2 weeks. And if Havertz doesn't start on Sunday, then I'll get him out and I'll put Grealish or someone in. Or just someone. There's quite a lot of players at a 7.5 million pound. Yeah, so it's just been a real dilemma, and I can't believe I'm at this stage already. Usually it gets to I don't know, 30 game weeks in, and I'm I don't know what to do on my team. Game week 1, I'm looking at it and I'm I don't know, I don't like it, but I'm not going to change it.
Yeah, I don't know if I made a mistake because I was preparing to bring in Lukaku, and like you, I said I would need to have made 3
Three
transfers,
tabs,
so
yeah.
a -8. And I was like, I don't want to take a -8 just to get Lukaku in. We don't know
Yeah,
if he's starting.
yeah,
Chelsea have struggled against Arsenal. I do think we're going to win this game, but historically, for some reason, Arsenal have their game of the season against us
they always
every
get up for it,
single
don't
year.
they? Their
Yeah,
cup final.
and so I was like, I'm just going to try to make one transfer. So I
Yeah,
transferred Rafinha for Dallas to try to save some money there. I was like, whatever, it's
yeah,
about the same quality. And
yeah.
now now it's totally gone to shit. So I think the best thing, if you guys can't afford Lukaku in your team right now, it's totally fine to wait and kind of see if you hit
Yeah.
running with Chelsea, how we line up, who's going to be starting. And Chelsea have really difficult fixtures, so I don't think it's going to be like these high scoring games either. Like Arsenal could go either way, but Liverpool, I don't see it being more than maybe 2 goals or, at most.
I think we're gonna end up hating Thomas Tuchel. Like fantasy Premier League players are gonna end up hating him because I genuinely think like I cannot see like back end of last season when we were saying wait until next season till we've got a set starting 11. I don't think Chelsea are ever going to have one set starting 11 for the Premier League. I think he's going to rotate a lot. I think he could even potentially rotate even more than Pep Guardiola does. And that's why Romelu Lukaku would be the only player that I'd want, because I think he's pretty much nailed on to start every single game. But yeah, I think it's going to be really, really hard to try and predict who he's going to play every game.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the problem with Chelsea assets, you guys, and with City assets for that matter, is that we just don't know who's going to start. And so it's a risk. And maybe you need a really good bench player if you want to go for the risk for them to come off your bench. I don't know. Guys, I do want to get to, we're getting a lot of questions in here. That's awesome. We love answering your questions and just seeing what comes up. So I do want to start answering some of them. If you have any questions, just pop them in there and we're going to try to get to as many as possible. So Matt Hitch asks, how are you doing? Just want to ask for some tips on Game Week 2. What do you think about Ings and Tony? Who do you think is a good choice for captain and vice captain? I see you nodding your head, so I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I did like a video on this earlier of the FPL, and listen, the obvious choices are Bruno and Salah. I don't think anyone at this moment in time should be venturing elsewhere. Their fixtures are Bruno's got Southampton, got 70 points against them last season. They started really well, obviously. He's in good form. Salah the same. Fans back at Anfield for the first time since they won the league. So I think that sways in Liverpool's favour. I think it's going to be comfortable victories for both of them. So I think that has to be one of those two. But I have Ings and Tony up front.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, I like that. I don't think Tony I would, captain or vice. I think Bruno's a captain and Salah's the vice, or vice versa. But I really like the look of Tony, and I think he, having played against Crystal Palace, having watched them yesterday, I think he could have get at them and actually cause them some problems. And we backed Danny Ings for like a third captaincy choice. Like if you want to go brave already, like if you want to go bold and you don't want to go the obvious choices, then you could go someone like Danny Ings. I know he didn't have the greatest of games against Watford. He did score. He's on pens, which is massive. And they're playing Newcastle, who didn't have the greatest of starts, conceded 4. So I think if you want to go brave, I mean, it would be very brave of you to do that, because I think the majority of FPL players would just be going Salah or Bruno. But Ellie, I'm assuming, do you agree? Is it?
Yeah, right now I think I have Bruno as my captain right now because Southampton didn't have a good starting.
Yeah.
They didn't have a good first game. I think they lost 3-1.
Mine's Salah at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm between because I was thinking Burnley, are they gonna just play 11 at the back? And that was kind of my reasoning, but I could go for either one, honestly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys have a preference, Salah or Fernandez. Let us know. We're split right now.
We are.
And I also have Ings and Tony. I thought that Tony was actually a little unlucky not to get a goal contribution last week.
Yeah.
He looked really good, so I think he could get a goal contribution. And right now for the price, if you can have him, I think he's just 6.5 right now.
Yeah.
So it's a really good asset to have, and then you can kind of see how he gets on. And in the meantime, you can invest more in more expensive players. Yash has asked us thoughts on bringing in Chalobah. He may become a regular starter, especially if Zuma leaves.
Sorry. I just got a message and I shouldn't have read it, but I did. Sorry. Something to do with work. But anyway, I'll reply in a second.
Work on both of our minds. It's okay.
I would stay away from that for the minute. I think obviously we've still got, Thiago Silva came back late from the Copa America. Rudiger's obviously going to play. Azpilicueta's playing. You've got Christensen to come back in. I don't think Chalobah's going to be playing the whole season. He'll play. Obviously, he's played really well, and I expect him to keep his place for Sunday. But I think he's going to be playing more of a bit part this season. Like, I don't think he's going to be a regular centre back. Obviously, it's his first season, and I think we know we can rely on him. But I would just say, for the moment, maybe just hold off until. We're saying this like whole Thomas Tuchel actual lineup thing. I don't think we're going to. We're not going to have a set starting 11. We might be playing. I think for the like, not disrespectful, but like the lesser teams, I think he'll keep his place against Arsenal because of the performance against Crystal Palace. But if everyone's back fit and everyone's had a pre-season again, and I'm not sure he'll be playing those like Cities, United, Liverpool games, when we're like halfway through the season or whatever. So I think it'd just be it'd be a great asset. I imagine he's so cheap. Probably around the 4.5 million mark, maybe even 4 million. But yeah, I would just hold off, I think, just for a little bit to see if he keeps his place and if he keeps his place. What?
Oh my God, he's 5 million. What the heck? What?
Do you know why that is? That's because of the first game. Do you know what I mean? He's kept a clean sheet and they've gone, right, okay, yeah, we'll just. That's ridiculous. He's never played for Chelsea before.
That's absolutely.
And he's 5 million. I mean, for that price, then absolutely not. But if it was 4 million, I think you can make a case for even putting him in and then just put him on the bench of the games he doesn't play. You can then have someone subbed in, but not for 5 mil.
That's insane. That's insane. I think the main thing that we're getting at is, especially for your defenders, you typically want to pick defenders that are going to play week in, week out. And there's a lot of teams that have the same back four more or less every week. And with Tuchel, we just don't know. Like, even somebody who like Reece James or a Ben Chilwell, who I thought these players should be nailed on starters at this point, they're not nailed on starters. And so we just have so much squad depth, which is a blessing, but it's a curse for fantasy because you don't know who's going to start. So you could take the risk, play them, have somebody strong on your bench as well that you're okay with coming in if that player doesn't play. But especially Chelsea defenders, they're all really expensive for not knowing whether or not they're going to play week in, week out. And
we have better options.
Yeah, there's better options for sure. Dion or more of a statement. He says, I have a huge suggestion for you guys. Since the Premier League has a lot of penalties, I suggest everyone has a budget penalty taker in your team. For example, Jorginho, Ward-Prowse, Pukki. What do you think, Liv?
Yeah, I think just Tony takes them for Brentford. So he's my two strikers. Obviously, Tony and Ings both are on pens. The only thing I would say with that
as well is on pens.
But the only thing I would say with that is that the threshold giving a penalty this season isn't as low as it was last season. Last season they were giving penalties for everything. We got so many. United got loads, and this season a lot of those penalties that were given won't be given this season because of the rule change. So I think maybe last season, it was definitely worth having a penalty taker in your team, but this season maybe not so much. I mean, saying that, I've got two of them as my strikers, but that's just pure coincidence. Obviously that was the selling point for Ings, that he's now on pens because Villa, obviously El Ghazi was on pens or whatever. But I think the threshold is slightly higher now, so I don't think there will be as many pens being awarded in the Premier League. But it's always good to have one or two penalty takers in your team, and usually most of the strikers are penalty takers. So
exactly. I would try to prioritize. I would say, like, in your midfield, players who are going to score goals versus somebody who's like a 5 million asset and just takes them. But if you like really have like a loaded team and you have a lot of players who you think like the very expensive assets like Salah, Bruno, Lukaku, whatever, and you want like a 5 million, it could be a good strategy, but I haven't prioritized that. Tenny asks, do you guys have your own league? Yes, I have to I'll put the league code in the description again. I've recently tweeted it. Olivia has her own league. I have my own league, and then we have a league together.
together.
Yeah, super
Which I'm
fun. Yeah,
probably,
so many
which
people
I'm
have.
probably like bottom of because my team's so bad at the moment. But it's fine. Game week 1. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. Let me see if I can get our league up for you guys at least. I think I'm in like 60th. Okay, let me copy this and let me create a banner and edit this. Okay, paste it, save it, show it. Okay, this is
Oh.
our league code. In case you guys want it, if you haven't joined already, this is ours. I don't think I'm doing very good in this league. Let's see. Yeah, I'm currently 60th. I don't know how many people are in it. Oh my god, in your league, Liv, I'm 549th.
In my league, I'm 2000th in my league.
You have
I'm
so many people
2000th
just
in my own
joined.
league.
Oh my god. So many
So
people joined it.
yeah,
I don't think that many people joined mine. I'm 53rd in that one, so that means there's probably like 60
you
people.
got a pretty good score though. What score did you get?
Yeah, I got 100 last week. It was actually my first
Yeah,
time getting like the past the 100.
100.
I just made it.
Ah,
I thought I was going to be on 97, and then Antonio got 3 bonus points. It's just
unreal.
my very first time and probably the last.
Love
um,
it.
yeah, I was really excited. But then I saw that everybody got like over 100, so I was
I
like,
mean, I got 77s. That's not very good, but we moved. I
well, I think like some people have like an Alonso in their team, and it's like, well, he's probably not going to be,
know.
you know,
It's so annoying.
Alonso. It's like this guy. I laugh at, not that I laugh at, but that it's so funny to me because I every season I think this is the season that Chelsea are going to sell him, and every season he puts in an incredible
I
performance.
know.
It survives. It's
Just
insane.
doesn't ever like, yeah, you just think, right, this is it now, this is it, and then he just comes back and it's just bloody
It's like the
brilliant
remontada
again.
of this season every year. It's so funny.
Hmm.
Nihal has asked Greenwood or Jota, who is a better pick for the next few
Ooh, that's
years?
really hard. I, there's always an issue with Jota that Firmino might just randomly get played for a game. Jota didn't play the full 90 against Norwich, so that makes me think he's going to start with Jota again. But was playing up front for Man United with Pogba, Bruno around him. And when I look at the fixtures, Man United have got, so they've obviously got Southampton this week, then they've got Wolves the week after that, then they've got Newcastle the week after that, and then they got West Ham. So I would say it's hard to like, it's obviously hard to judge at the moment. I would always say pick form over fixtures. But obviously they're both in very good form. If I had to go for one, I think it would be Mason Greenwood.
Yeah, me too.
Because I think at the moment with Man United's injuries and obviously people not Jadon Sancho not being fit and stuff like that, I just think that there's more chance that Greenwood will probably like have his place nailed down at least next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think like while Sancho is not fit and Marcus Rashford is out injured, like I think Greenwood is basically a nailed starter. At this point, it's so hard to say at the beginning of the season because you don't know who's in like amazing form. But I was really impressed with Man United. They looked like very good in their first game of this season.
I don't think Leeds are much to go on, to be honest. Like Leeds are just a bit like they play like that against all the big teams. And they were clinical, to be fair to them. Like they were really clinical, and every chance they had, pretty much they scored. But yeah, I think judge them when they play against us and City and Liverpool, and that's where we'll see where they're really at. Because I just think their midfield's going to let them down at times, but their fantasy assets going forward will be really, so good.
Really, yeah, totally agree. Safas has asked us, is it silly to have Havertz, Mount, and Timo in my starting 11 for fantasy? I've also got Ing starting and Grealish. So we've talked on this. Like we're both, well, you have Havertz, but we're both kind of picking maybe one Chelsea asset. And I think for both of us, like in the future, that's going to be Lukaku. Well, you have Havertz now. Mount doesn't really score goals. You might get an assist, but he doesn't get enough goal contributions for me for the price that he is in fantasy. And Timo either, we just don't know. I think Timo's going to improve a lot playing with Lukaku. I think that's
really hope so,
brilliant for him. Let me see. I think he's like really expensive though.
Who, Timo?
Yeah.
Timo's 9.
8.9. It seems it's gone down. Yeah.
So he's gone down. Yeah. I just think, it is silly. It is silly.
Yeah.
I would have one of them. Ings and Grealish are great shouts. You know, City have got Norwich at home, so that's pretty good. I think he'll start again. But if I was you, I would get Mount and Timo out.
Yeah.
Or if you want to save a bit of money, maybe get Havertz and Timo out and just go with Mount, because Mount's going to play every game, of course he is. But yeah, he knows he needs to score more goals. He said that in an interview. Like, he knows he needs to assist more and he needs to score more. But yeah, I would have one of the three.
Yeah, I would have all three. Yeah, and with the rotation as well, we don't know who's going to be starting. So like you might end up with 1 or 2 on the bench. And then if they come on for just like 20 minutes, maybe they don't have enough time to get a goal contribution as well. So definitely, I think like if I were to pick anybody from Chelsea, I want to get Lukaku, but he's just so expensive to try to fit in. Bruce says thoughts on selling or keeping Gundogan. His price could drop tonight, but is rolling the transfer a better longer term strategy?
Yeah, I do like saving transfers. But then again, like, I also just think if you want to do a transfer, if you want to do 2 transfers, you know, if you're looking at your team and you're just thinking, oh, okay, I'll just leave it until next week and do 2 transfers. Just do the 2 transfers that week if you hate your team that much and you want to make those subs if there's someone you absolutely want to get in. Yeah, I wouldn't say rolling the transfer. I don't know, it's hard.
I took hits and I didn't. So
I took hits so much last season, so much more than I ever have. Obviously, it was slightly different situation, stuff like that. But and Gundo, obviously, he's great for his price. But Guardiola said today that his shoulder's fine because he went off with a shoulder injury or something, or he played on, but he had like a shoulder issue. But he says his ankle's not, and that he might have to see what he's like tomorrow in training. So that's not 100% him starting. If you've obviously got a good enough bench, you can start him, and then have, you know, if he doesn't start, you've got someone coming on. But yeah, it's not Pep Guardiola didn't really confirm it, so it's hard to say. He was going to be in my team. He was actually in my first draft. And then I took him out because I was like, I just don't know what City are going to be like.
Yeah, exactly.
And I still don't really know.
I found in my team, and then I transferred him out, and he went on to score against City. LOL.
I might have to get him in as well. All these people, I just don't have the money. Don't have the money. All these people that you want, I just don't have the money for it.
The thing that I don't get is like last season, everybody was like so much like. They were expensive, but Salah didn't start off at like 12.5. Like,
yeah, they've just gone up and up. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, how are you supposed to fit in like all of these players, and we just have like the same amount of money, but they're just consistently costing more.
Yeah.
Guys, this is what fantasy does to me. Somebody asked Greenwood or Pogba, and Pogba had like 4 assists in the first game. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, but I just want to see what the price difference is between.
They're the same price. He's 7.6 now. Greenwood.
Okay, fair. I would
7.5. Wow, that's
I really don't know. I like the idea of Greenwood playing up front. I really do. The issue with Paul Pogba is consistency, and you just don't know whether he's going to be consistent or not. It's his first game of the season. Obviously, he had a great game, but is he going to play like that every week? We haven't seen that for United since he's returned. So there's something about Greenwood that I think is really, like, he's a really attractive fantasy asset. Playing up front, obviously you're gonna have to change it, you know, at some point, because obviously I don't think when Sancho's fit, when Rashford's back, is he going to start every game? Probably not. he's also a midfielder playing up front as well. So he gets an extra point every time he scores. So I'm swaying towards Greenwood, but I can understand why people would want to go for Pogba.
Yeah, no, that's kind of where I'm at too, and I just feel like it's so hard to say with the start of the season. Like, time will tell, but right now,
Yeah,
I had like a gut instinct with Greenwood, so I'm kind of just sticking to that gut instinct, and then
yeah,
see how it goes.
yeah.
Nick Williams says, I have 3.5 mil to spend. Take out DCL for Rum, or with Mahrez having Norwich bring him in for one of Barnes, Buendia, Smith Rowe.
I think it's too early to judge Harvey Barnes. I think I would keep Harvey Barnes. Arsenal, I don't know why anyone's got any Arsenal players in their FPL teams, to be perfectly honest. I would get rid of Smith Rowe. Like, he was one of my options because he was like just so cheap. Then I thought about it and I was like, I don't know what Arsenal are going to be like. And I think Friday just proved that, like last Friday.
I transferred out Ben White with 2 minutes to spare of the transfer window, and I was like, thank God I did this.
Like, he's going to improve them, but he's not going to make them not concede goals. Like, they're going to concede goals. So if you have 3.5 mil to spend, I'd be taking out Calvert-Lewin for Lukaku because
Yeah.
I just think he's going to be class. I think he's going to score loads of goals. You've then got, a big striker in your team. And what you could do is maybe leave it for this week because Lukaku, like we said, we're not sure whether he's going to start. Tuchel's been very, very coy on it, so we don't know. Mahrez will start. Like, Mahrez always does start for City, and they've got Norwich at the Etihad, so I could understand if you did that. But if you did that, you could probably move it around and take Mahrez out and a striker out to then get Lukaku in. So I think there's ways of doing it. But Mahrez definitely has. I think for the long run, a DCL out for Rom. But I think if you're talking for game week 2 only, then I would probably say Mahrez for one of the 3.
I think it depends on who you want long term and what your strategy is. So you can try to plan your transfers to say, okay, maybe I want to see how Lukaku gets on, but I can always roll over my transfer and then I get 2 transfers if I want to make that next week as well. So it's just really up to how you want to play it. I'm kind of annoyed that I didn't roll over my transfer now. So let's see how it plays out for me.
So wait, what transfer did you do?
I did Rafinha to Dallas just to
just to get saved money. Yeah,
that didn't work out. Yes, I love listening to Live too.
Don't know why. I hate my own voice.
I
hate listening to myself. Honestly, when I have to watch myself back, I'm like, oh god.
That's how I feel as well. I always wanted a British accent. Like, I always thought that they're so.
You know what people like? I'm going to America, obviously in November, and everyone that I've spoken.
Wait, what?
I think I am going on the.
Probably
I will be. No, I got a wedding on the 20th. When are you there?
I last year I came early, so sometimes I come for Thanksgiving and Christmas, but this year I think I'm only going around maybe mid-December.
Oh, shame. Yes, I'm going to Philadelphia and New York, so yeah. Very exciting. But yeah, I can't even remember what I was talking about. And I was saying, what was I saying? I was supposed to speak about America.
Oh, the accent.
Oh yeah. Anyone I've spoken to is like, Americans will love your accent.
Oh yeah.
It just sounds so posh.
It's like a thing. I don't know why, but then I go anywhere and nobody compliments me on my accent.
Yeah. Human.
I'm like, oh man, they just think I'm like the annoying American. Oh man. I just go through. We have so many comments. This is a good one. Arthur asks, should I keep Kane in my squad or replace him with any other striker like Ings and bring De Bruyne in? I would not have Kane in my squad right now just because we don't know what's going to happen with the transfer. It seems, I don't know if you know any more, Liv, but from like just reading the news, it seems like 50-50 to me. Like City are going to place another
I
bid. He might go, he might not. I don't know.
Yeah, I think City. I don't think it's worth having Kane in your squad yet. I mean, maybe after the international break when we know for like certain what team he's going to be playing at. But I don't think he'll feature for Spurs against Wolves. De Bruyne's injured. I think Guardiola said he's done something to his ankle, so he might not be available. So yeah, I wouldn't do that. I mean, if you want, at the moment you've got Kane in your squad, so you've got the money there.
Lukaku. You could do
Yeah,
Kane
you
for
could do Kane
Lukaku.
to Lukaku. You could keep Kane until after the international break, but I feel like then you're a player down because he's not going to play. Whereas someone like Ings is going to start every game for Villa unless he gets injured. And then you've got that money in the bank as well. If you take out, Kane and put in Ings, then you'll have the money when you take out Ings to then put in a Lukaku or a Kane if you want him when he knows his future, or if you want Lukaku in a few weeks as well. So I wouldn't keep him in your squad for now. I would get rid.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Fantasy is actually showing him as like injured, lack of match fitness. Like I think
Yeah,
while
I
the
think
whole saga is going on, like he's not going to start for Tottenham.
my mate. Yeah, apparently, KDB didn't train today.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's Lukaku is like very high premium. If you don't have Salah or Fernandes, you could do like a double transfer or something. Craig says, tell Elizabeth she did an amazing job at Chelsea. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we have like a lot of very specific questions. Jam says Pereira for Leicester is a must-have.
I do like the look of a Leicester defender, but he's so expensive. And I know he like scored or something last. I don't know if he got an assist or he scored. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And he is going forward, but I think there's better options. Like a lot of good options at like cheaper prices for defenders. 6.5, 7 is obviously, I know the Liverpool two are the ones at 7, but I'm not entirely sold. I know he's only 5.5 mil, but it's the same as Luke Shaw. And if I'm doing a toss up between which player I want for 5.5 mil, then it would be Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
And you can't have that many good defenders. If you want like 2 premium midfielders, a half decent attack, you can't have like 2 or 3 £5.5 million defenders. So yeah, I do like the look of him, but yeah, he's not like a priority for me, I don't think. The room's getting like knocked on the door. I'm like, is that right? No, it's fine. They've gone away. It's fine. Doing it at work.
That's so funny. Yeah, I think eventually I might have to transfer out Trent if I want to get Lukaku in with the way things are going. I have no idea. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see if I can get Lukaku in without. But I got totally messed up with my strategy here. But whatever. One more question, and then I think like we have so many specific questions for every game from everybody's team. Like we can only get to so many. I think we answered the majority of them. We can try to do like a summary at the end. Sam asked, what are the advantages to having multiple free transfers? And this is something that I wanted to touch on because when I started playing fantasy, I did not know that you could roll over your transfers. And so I was making transfers every single week. And then I realized, oh, wait, you can actually roll them over. So what do you think the advantages are?
I don't know. Like, I think, like, to me, if you want to make a transfer, I just do it. Obviously, it's nice to have 2 free transfers. You're not wasting any points. And then you can actually, like, moving 3 players around is like a mini wild card. So if you wanted to take a -4 and you'd move 3 players around, you can change like quite, 3 out of 11 is quite a lot. So I think that's an advantage. But personally, like if I know 100% I want to do a transfer, I will just do it. I wouldn't wait just because I'll get it free next week, because I just look at my team and think, well, no, I want to change it now. Obviously, there is advantages to doing multiple free transfers, and I think most people would probably say that they prefer doing that. But I'm just I want it, I'm just going to do it now, and then
yeah.
and then
I think I think like the main advantage maybe is like if you're not 100% sold on a player and you want to wait it out a week and kind of see how they perform, see how the team is, see what happens, then you can wait
Yeah.
and have the 2 transfers that you can make. The downside, which is what happens to me, is that I was hoping to get Ben Rama in for 6. Now his price went up to 6.1. So I waited,
Yeah.
didn't make the transfer, and now it's kind of like screwed up with how much money I have available. So it's kind of like it's a risk, but it could pay off as well. It just like depends on what you want to do. I'll roll over only if I'm like very happy with my team and I'm like, oh, I don't want to make any transfers. I'll just wait and see, and then I can try to deal with it next week. So basically, to sum up, a lot of people are saying Greenwood for whoever. I think we can say that we both have Greenwood in our team. We would keep him probably for now. Defenders, I have Trent as like the main one, and Luke Shaw as well. I think captain is Bruno Salah. Tony is good to have in your team. Ings, I have Antonio as well. And we're all trying to get Lukaku in. Anything else to sum up Fantasy Game Week 2?
No, I think the 2 captain choices, the obvious ones. I wouldn't suggest going rogue in game week 2. Yeah, and if you want to do a transfer, just do it. If you want a wild card, just do it, because that'll be me in like 2 weeks' time. But yeah, everyone's got like the same core of players, and it's the other players, isn't it? The other like less owned players that are going to get you the points. But I'm looking at my team and I'm like, oh, do I like it? I don't know. But because I don't know, I'm going to keep it. There's no point me pissing around like around with it like for no reason, for absolutely no reason. So I'm just going to leave it this week and see what happens.
Havertz could perfectly score against Arsenal. It could pay off. If Lukaku scores, I'm screwed because I feel like a lot of people transferred him in. But guys, that's all we have for you today. We've been talking for 37 minutes, which is insane, just about fantasy. Don't forget to like this video. It helps me out a lot. And we're almost at 10K subscribers, which is absolutely insane.
Amazing. Congrats.
Road to 10K, guys. We're getting close. But if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe because that's a really freaking big milestone. And that's absolutely insane. So thank you guys for watching. Hope that you enjoyed. Livy and I do this every single week. Liv, thanks again. It's always
okay. Oh, thanks. I'll come back next week and be and feel even worse about my team, but you know, it's fine.
I think that's how I feel every single week, like pouring hours and then it's like, yeah, this did not work out. But so that's how fantasy goes, you guys.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments like how you're feeling about this game week, who's a must-have in your team. And if you have any questions, feel free to tweet me or, you know, I try to check and get back to people as well. So, all right, guys, hope that you enjoyed this. And until next time, we're out.